Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I just want to say hello to all of you out there, all you beautiful souls. I hope you're doing good. Like I know everybody has different situations in their life where, you might be struggling, with families or jobs or, relationships, but I'm here to encourage you to hang on. And a lot of times when we're going through that, it seems like it's never going to end. And, it happens for a short period of time, but it's all on how you react to a lot of those things, so you don't want to overreact when you're going through some hard times. But anyway, I do want to reach out to all of you and see how all of you are doing. I hope you were able to get out today. For in my area, I was actually letting go of a lot of stuff out front of my house, like set up a table and put some free stuff out so people can get some free stuff, just to give stuff away, so that took me some time to do that, and I was able to go out and play some basketball today right down the street from where I live, because it was a kind of one of those days, it would sprinkle a little bit, so I had to stay close to my apartment that way, if it did rain, like you never know with the weather, people, so I could get back and take care of all that stuff outside. So anyway, I hope, you guys were able to get out, guys and girls, I love all of you, so, I hope you were able to get out and, get out in nature somewhere, get some exercise. And also, I hope you're taking really good care of yourself, and your loved ones, I'm not with a loved one yet, but, I'm looking forward to the day. I do have a special friend out there, so he always keeps me on my toes, and that's what's important, that, I need somebody to help me through life, somebody that's gonna see something that I might not see, and it's good to have somebody like that out there, that somebody's got your back, and you might have a loved one out there, and where you're there, helping each other through life and stuff like that. So it is so important to have somebody and to be there for them also, so right now I just want to let you know, if you are new, welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you want to get to my YouTube channel, you can by Starlight Kathy with a K Dingman, and that's how you get to my YouTube channel. And you can give my videos a thumbs up, whoops, and also if you you can give my videos a thumbs up, you can share my videos with anyone you want, including your dog or cat. Sometimes they do. They like watching, TV. They'll just watch it right with you. And, also you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to contact me, I am on Instagram. I will be putting more short videos out for you. I have a whole bunch on my computer, so they will be coming out very soon. So those of you that have reached me on Instagram, thank you, and you can get in touch with me at Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So those are two ways. And the third way, I don't get a lot of messages on YouTube, but I really thank the people that do reach out. I've had a few people here and there, one that normally contacts me a lot on there. So please, don't be afraid. I will not bite you. And I do have all my teeth though, which is a good thing. So you can leave a message down below, and that way I could see how you're doing. And don't be shy. I know there's times I can be shy. Hard to believe, huh? I have my moments. So anyway, today I haven't made one of these videos in a while, and I thought, I've had so many titles in my brain for the last few days, and right now I have one that is uploading now, and one that should be coming out right now. So, you know, 2 videos today, getting them out. So one, I apologize. The one, I actually had to short the end really quick, and I didn't know how to edit the right way, so it kind of ended really quick at the end. I had to delete something out of there, and so I don't want to offend anybody, and you know, so I did say it was nothing that bad, but you know, I just couldn't figure out how to cut and clip. So I will have to learn about how to do that. So anyway, this message is really for anybody who has children. You know, like I love children, and I really have a lot of input, like, and experience on kids and relationships. So those are 2 of the topics I love talking about in all different areas, you know, like with couples and with kids. So this actually is for either you've got a boyfriend or girlfriend, or, you know, even grandpas and grandmas. You know, this is also for them too, not just parents, but, you know, if you're a parent that babysits your grandkids a lot, this is for you too, really. You know, so this is how are you, like, in front of your children, you know, like as far as a couple goes, and that goes with, like I said, either boyfriend, girlfriend, or a married couple, is are you being the right example of how couples should be? You know, and it's so important because, you know, kids will learn from you, you know, and how you are, and, you know, if you are a certain way in front of your children with your loved one, you know, like, you know, I hope, you know, that you don't argue and fight in front of your kids, because whether you know that, when that does happen to children, they get afraid. They don't want to see their mom and dad arguing and fighting and all that stuff, and they get afraid, and they might actually hide. They might want to disappear. They might want to leave the house, go somewhere, or hide in their bedroom, you know, like to stay away from all that stuff, especially if you're arguing and fighting, you know. And sometimes the kids can't really go outside depending on where they live. You know, you might not have an area, a neighborhood, you know, where they can just go out in the yard, because not everybody, you know, like lives out in the country where they, you know, like where I live, I don't have a yard, really. I have a yard, but, you know, I can't use it, you know. So you know, you got to really be mindful of how you behave, you know, in front of your children, you know, like, and what kind of example are you being as a like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or, you know, like a husband or a wife, or even grandparents, you know, like do you argue, do you fight, you know, like, and do you show each other love and affection towards each other in front of your kids? You know, some people think that that's a horrible thing, is to, you know, like to kiss. You know, you don't need to make out in front of your kids, but give some affection to your loved one, you know, and have a little bit of fun in front of your kids with your loved one, you know, like every couple is different, you know, like where, you know, like you want to teach them that a relationship should not be boring, you know, that you know, you can be funny and goofy in front of your kids with your loved one. Hopefully you're that type of person that can have fun with your loved one, you know, or be sweet. You know, everybody is different. You know, sometimes guys will pinch their wife in the butt or spank her on the butt, and, you know, like, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, like, as long as you don't go too far of what you're doing in front of your kids, you know. And how do you communicate, you know? So it is really important that if you are having any kind of relationship problem, you know, like whether you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband or wife, or even grandparents, you know, they have their days, you know, maybe they, you know, like had problems throughout their whole life and never worked on those things. But, you know, like really, you should never, you know, like argue or fight in front of your kids, or even let them know that you even have a problem, you know, because they're going to, sometimes, depending on the kids' age, you know, they might fear of you getting divorced, you know, and it might discourage them from ever even wanting to go with somebody, You know, if they see a lot of that going on in their home, you know, like, why would they later on want to, you know, like get married? And it's kind of funny, you know, I don't have, in my family, none of my brothers, of course my sister cannot get married because, you know, she's handicapped and she lives in a home, but there's nobody married, you know, like, so you, not that my mom and dad fought, you know, like, or anything like that, but, it is odd. I was the closest one to get married, you know, so, I am looking for the day to get married, really. I prefer to be married than to, be single, you know, and I did put a video out about, you know, spending time with yourself, and, somebody did leave me a little message saying it's not always, you know, like it is. You do have to have balance. I agree. Is that I love being by myself, you know, spending time with myself, and you know, but really, do I want to live by myself for the rest of my life? Absolutely not. Not at all. You know, I do desire to be with somebody, and not that I'm going to be able to have kids or anything like that, not that I'm aware of, unless, you know, like we adopt kids, you know, but, you know, like everybody is different with their relationships and stuff, but you don't want your, you got to communicate in a good, healthy way with your kids. Be an example to them, like when you discuss things, it's okay to talk in front of, you know, your kids about, you know, things that are not private, but things, you know, like if there's issues, you know, like maybe you're having, you know, like problems in your relationship, and you might be thinking, you know, maybe you're having like where you're upset with each other, you know, like, you really don't want to communicate with your kids about that, because, some of those kids are really super smart, you know, and if they know that mommy and daddy are fighting and having some kind of issues, they could actually, you know, like some of them might have a favorite mommy or daddy, and that happens, just like sometimes there's parents that have a favorite child, you know, and not that that should happen, but it does happen, you know, so a lot of times the kids will lean towards the one that lets them have their way more, you know. Sometimes it could be the mom that lets the kids have their way more, or it could be the father, you know, that is more light on the kids, you know. It depends on the adult's background and where they came from and how they got brought up and what they know, you know, like about different things. So it is so important that you know, and what kind of conversations do you have in front of your kids? You know, you got to really think, you know, is it necessary to say some of the things in front of your kids, depending on their age, you know, because they listen to a lot that you have to say, and some parents actually, you know, they will tell their kids that kids are to be seen and not heard, you know, where they don't even want their kids around when they're talking about adult stuff. But, you know, like, you know, you do have to think really how you're communicating out in front of your kids and the kind of things that you're doing. What kind of an example are you being? You know, if you smoke cigarettes, you know, like what kind of an example are you being to your kids? You're saying, hey, it's okay. You know, mommy's doing it or daddy's doing it. And sometimes these days, a lot what is going on is that sometimes the parent will go out and smoke outside the house, but if the kid knows about it, you know, even though you're not smoking in front of the kid, you know, or children, they know what you're doing outside, you know. The best example is to show them that, hey, you know, I know this is wrong for me to do it. I know it's not healthy. I know it's not good for me. I know it's not good for you for secondhand smoke. I'm going to go get help. I'm going to quit. You know, that's the kind of example that you can be to your kids. And, you know, like also the, you know, your language, you know, like what kind of language do you say in front of your kids? And, you know, like all kinds of stuff, like, you know, like, are you talking to your kids, you know, like, you know, are you talking bad about other people in front of your kids? And, you know, where they will hear you and, you know, like, they'll think that that's just the way it is. You know, so you really need to think twice of what you do communicate in front of your kids. And it's best to, you know, when they start out little is when you really got to be on top of everything. And really, the more work that you put on your kids when they're little, you know, it is a lot of work. It's like a relationship, really. It's a lot of work. Like even in a relationship, getting with somebody that's new, it's a lot in the beginning. You know, you got to figure out how you live each day and what your schedules are like, and you know, like what kind of food you eat. You know, like so with kids, you know, you got to show them, you know, like the right way about doing things, and you know, like the kind of foods, you know, like, and if you're being a bad example by eating the wrong kind of foods, and you know it's not good for you, you know, but you're going to eat it, and then your kids are going to want what you have, you know, so, you know, they watch and they're like, huh, you know, that looks really yummy, I want some. They're like kind of like, they're not dogs, but, you know, kitty cats are not really, you know, curious about what you're eating, but when, you know, dogs are around, they don't miss, you know, their noses know. They're like, that really smells good. Can I, you know, like, can I have some? You know, and of course there's rules about that with doggies too, you know, or even, you know, there's some cats out there that like some table food. You know, some of them are not that picky, you know, so I don't want to get off on the dog thing because I would tell you about some things with dogs, but we're not here talking about dogs right now. So yeah, you know, you could be a good example to your children. And really, you know, like I do, you know, of course I do my grocery shopping, you know, at a store. And, you know, you know, really, if you're buying the food and bringing it home, you know I used to, you know, like, it's normal. Like, if I eat something in front of my kids, you know, they're like, man, I want some of that, you know, and it kind of triggers them to want the same thing that I have. And it could be, you know, like, not good for you, you know, or for them. You know, like when I was younger, not too long ago though, before my vegan diet, I liked potato chips and dip and ice cream. Those were my go-to things. You know, a lot of salt, you know, like flavor in those chips, but they weren't good for me, you know. So now I eat something different. I do like the chickpea, I forget what they call it, hummus. I don't know if I even pronounced that right, but it's like chickpeas blended in, you know, they blend it and then they put some stuff on top of it. Yummy. You know, and crackers and cheese was a big thing. I was doing that a lot, you know, like it was crackers and cheese with pepperoni for the longest time, and then it went to crackers with cheese and turkey pepperoni, you know, and then it went to no pepperoni and no cheese and no crackers anymore. You know, I changed my whole diet around. And as far as food goes, I'm easy to switch things around. I'm not a picky eater, so you know, and sometimes it's good to be a picky eater, and then sometimes it's not. And you know, it's kind of both ways, you know, like with me, I can eat anything and everything, but you know, I have a vegan diet now, so I don't eat meat and dairy, you know. So you know, like being like me, where I can eat anything, could not be good, because then I might eat the things that are not really good for me. And you know, and on the other side, being a picky eater, well, then you're missing out on some really good stuff. You know, you could be missing out on really some good healthy stuff out there, you know. And there are some people, they are funny. They might not like certain textures, you know, like as far as food goes, you know, or, you know, they might be afraid to even take a bite of anything, you know. Are you that type? I'm definitely not. Hey, you know, as long as, you know, now I have a vegan diet, so I don't want to eat anything, you know, like that goes against my diet now. So, you know, and you got to think, if you're buying it and you're bringing it home, you know, then you're letting your kids know that it's okay to eat it, you know. And you got to think of their future, and not only, you know, their future of how their health is going to go later on, is yours. You know, do you care about your health when you get older? You know, I know a lot of people out there that are suffering. They ended up having really bad problems, and then, you know, they had to get a, like a camera. I can't believe the technology they had. They actually had a pill form, and they, it had a camera, a little camera that would, they would swallow it and it would record everything and try to figure out, because they couldn't figure out what was going on with this person. So you don't want to go through all that. And that person, later on I seen him, and like he's like, oh, he goes, yeah, I can't eat all this food that I was eating. And he was buying a lot of vegetables and fruit. That's the go-to. So I know later on in my life, the things I eat now, it's going to definitely change, and I do. I'm willing to change, when it comes to food, it's a kind of a easy thing for me because I like so many things. It's not like it's hard for me to change, even though it took me a long time for the vegan diet to stop eating, meat was where I started, beef, boom, the first thing, that was the first thing, because I knew that was one of the things that was not healthy at all. And, besides, I didn't want to eat my animal friends. And that's why I decided also, like, even though I could have ate fish still, I really, when I decided I didn't want to eat animals, I decided I didn't want to eat any of them. So I'm not going to miss fish anymore. Because I used to go fishing, and used to catch them. I loved fishing, but I gave my fishing pole away. I'm not going to cast and release anymore, so, and I'm not going to catch them anymore either. There's no sense in, catching them, and then it's so hard for me to get the hooks out of them anyway. That's hard. So, in the kind of company you keep, what kind of example, like what kind of people do you bring in your house, or who you hang out with, or who do you let your kids hang out with, do you even know, do they always go to your, their friend's house and you don't know the mom or dad? And, it's so important that you, the best thing to do is just have, parents don't want to do this sometimes, though. They don't want the kids at their house. Because they're like, they're going to make a lot of noise, that, if it was just my kids, that, like, depending on how many you have, if you just have one kid, then, they don't make a lot of noise. But if you have a few kids already, and then you're letting, like, a whole bunch more, but, just think about it. You know exactly what they're doing. You know where they are. You know that they're safe, and you don't have to worry about it, and all you have to do is, like, hey, like, have them come over. Get to know those kids, really. Take some time to get to know them, hear what they, talk with them, ask them questions, get to know your kids as friends, and if they don't have friends, encourage them to, like, to try to make friends so they can invite them over your house, because you never know what's going on in your kids' friend's house. There could be things going on that you're not even aware of. So that's why it's best to really invite them over to your place. Have dinner for them. Make it extra. They're gonna make a mess. They're gonna make more noises. But you know what? You don't have to sit there and wonder, because everybody has different rules at their houses. Your rules that you have at your house could be totally different than your son's or daughter's friend's house, where they might let their kid go down the street and just do whatever and go wherever, and they might not even know what their kids are even doing, and what time are they getting back, and how obedient they are, and what are they doing when they go out, or maybe they're just staying inside all the time and playing video games. It's all right that they play video games, but you don't want it to be where, that they're playing video games for 5 hours straight at their friend's house, and then when they come at your house, then they're going to give you an attitude because, hey, they get to do it over at their friend's house, and then, they're playing video games maybe for an hour, and you're like, okay, no more video game, and then they can have an attitude with you, because, they know when they go to their friend's house, that's all they do is play video games, and you really want to teach them balance when it comes to that, What I did with my son is that, I love him so much. Really, he was a great kid. I cannot complain, he didn't go anywhere. He never smoked cigarettes or did any drugs, or, like, he didn't try alcohol until he was the legal age, and he loved video games, and I had a rule for him. The rule, like, and it took me a while to figure these rules out, and it didn't happen right away, where in the beginning I didn't think anything of it, I just let him play. And then I'm like, well, like, his room needs to get cleaned, and there's jobs that he's got to do. I was a single mom, where, it's not right for me to do all the work, where he's living there rent-free. So you want to teach your kids responsibility right in the beginning, like all the way through, unless they're sick, and then, okay, you're sick today. Well, when you're back together again, and you're feeling well, you still got your chores to do, even if they're semi-sick. If they're, like, you still, like, it teaches them to be strong, like, as long as they're able to move around. Hey, you still got to clean your room. I know you're not feeling that well, but you need to kind of help them out with that, to realize that, like, you want to get them ready for the real world when they get on their own, and you don't want to rush it. Please do not rush your kids to leave the home. And that's where a lot of families do. They can't wait. They're counting the days. They can't wait when they graduate. They can't wait until they get a job. They can't wait to hurry up and get them on their own. Why? It is important to get them to be responsible and stuff like that, and get them prepared to be on their own. But with my kids, hey, like, you could stay here, but, there's responsibilities. Like, to make money, go and get a job, pay for your car insurance, pay for your car. I didn't buy my son a car. He did that by working. So you got to teach your kids, responsibilities, and that things don't just get handed to you. So you sometimes, maybe you can pay part of a car and then say, hey, I got this much money saved. Go get a job, like, try to get them a job where they can easily get to it, or even if they can do something online, really, you think about it, that would be the best way to help them out, is to get a job online. They don't have to go anywhere in the car to go anywhere. They can just do it online, make money. There's kids out there doing it. Those are the ones that I support on YouTube, is when I see a young kid. I haven't really seen very many females, of the sites that I go on to, but I've seen young men trying to help people with a YouTube channel, and I'm like, jink, I'll subscribe to him. I'll like the video, because, hey, we need to support those kids out there that are trying to do it on their own like that. I'm like, I am very happy to see that, where there's kids out there, like, doing it. They're making a good income on YouTube videos, so it is really good to encourage your kids to, you got to get them ready for the real world, really. And like I said, with my kids, I wanted them to stay with me until the day that, they were ready to get married off. And, hey, there you go. Now you can, they could save up money, they can pay rent, though, like a portion of rent, teach them responsibilities. Hey, like, you use, you're staying here, you got to put some money in with the food. You got, hey, like, teach them that way when they do get on their own, that, like, you do want to encourage them to get on their own, but you don't want to be in such a rush. Don't kick them out, like, and they shouldn't want to really, if they're ready to hurry up and get the heck out of your house, there might be a reason for that, like, why are they in such a rush to hurry up and get out of your home? I question that one, so you want them to, like, feel comfortable enough that they want to stay, like, and of course everybody does things differently with their kids, as far as boyfriends and girlfriends, and these days are so different, so you got to trust your kids, though, but you got to be an honest parent, and you expect them to be honest, then you got to be an honest parent, like, whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you're wife or whether you're mommy or daddy, you got to be that example to them, like, and, like, you got to teach them when you tell them something that you got to be the example yourself. Because, like, a lot of kids, they despise their parents because they're not being good influences on their kids, good examples. So you want to make sure if you say, you know, like certain rules in the house, and you definitely want to make up rules, and all the rules are going to change. They don't need to stay the same. You know, at first you can be kind of tight with them when they start off, and then, you know, it's a trust thing. You got to build up trust, and when they show that they can be trusted, then you're like, hey, you know what? I noticed that you've been really responsible. I'm going to lighten up and on you, and now I'm going to change the rules now, and it only has to happen to the one when they're ready for it. Not all the kids should have all the same rules in the house. You know, they're all different, even if they could be even if you had like mixed families and they're at the same age. Well, hey, if this one's not mature enough, even though they're at the same age, even though they could be still, you know, 2 boys or 2 girls, you know, it don't mean that they have to have the same rules. You know, hey, he or she is being more responsible. That's why we're letting that one get to have more, you know, like an area to go, you know, like out and do stuff, and maybe like the time for them to go out and, you know, be somewhere, but they got to have those rules of calling up if they're going to be late, you know, teach them responsibilities, you know, because when they get involved with when they get married, you know, you want to teach them how to be as going to be as a married person. That's what I did with my son. If he disrespected me, I'm like, is that how you're going to treat your wife when you get married? I did. I use that all the time on him, you know, and you can use things like that when your kids disrespect you, and you know that they like girls or boys, depending on the sex, you know, that you can just say, hey, is that how you're going to treat your wife? Is that how you're going to treat your husband? You know, I'm trying to help you to be a good, and that's what you want. You want to teach them how to be a good wife and a good husband, and make sure you're teaching the right set. You know, like you want to teach your boys to learn how to be a good husband and a good father, you know, and then with the girls, you want to teach them how to be a good wife and a good mother, you know. So you do. That's your job, is to show them how to do that and how to respect each other. But it starts with you, you know, being a mom and dad, and, you know, or whoever you are. And anyway, I really hope you really get a lot of help from this. And, you know, like I love kids a lot, you know, I do. So, and I love you too. I really want you to be the greatest version that you can be, you know, like my channel, it's be the change that you want to see in the world, and that's what I'm all about, is being the change. You know, I'm changing, I'm working on myself so I can be that kind of person. You know, not that we're all going to be clones, but, you know, we got to respect each other, you know, like in life, and help each other, be there to support each other, you know, and love each other and forgive each other, all that good stuff. And I know there's no such thing as good and bad, but, you know, like we have to be a good example to our kids. You know, positive. You want to be positive, not negative about stuff, you know. Don't sit and complain all the time, because that's what you're going to teach your kids that. So anyway, I do love you. I hope you get a lot of help from this video. And you can give this video a thumbs up, and you can share this video. You can subscribe. I'm a little off tonight. Here we go. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can leave a message down. I don't know how I did this tonight. Down below, must be my camera is a little off. Also, if you want, you can get a hold of me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I really enjoyed making this video. Like I said, I haven't made one of these in a while. I do have a few videos on my computer about parents, you know, like about tips and stuff like that for parents. And you know, I want you to be the best parents that you can be, and the best couples. You know, you got to work on these things. You know, it's always work. You always have to work at things. You can't lighten up, because if you do, that's when everything falls apart. So anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.